Alright guys, well, I figured I'd make a quick video about taking out the alternator, but first things first is this is going to be your belt timing tensioner right above your oil filter. Obviously I got the sandwich plate on there and everything else, but what we need to do is take the tension off the serpentine belt so we can get this off. So all you're going to do is take a 3/4 inch drive, shove it in that hole. It's going to be counterclockwise, lefty loosey. It's hard to show you this and taking the belt off, but once that tension's off, you can just reach over the top and pull the belt off the alternator. Next thing's off, I'm just going to take my grounding strap off. It's just a 10 mil. If you guys have this, it's just additional grounding. The alternator is only held on by 2 bolts. You got one up here on the stay, which is your mounting bracket up here, and there's another one down here. Let's see if I can get a video of it. So we're gonna take this one off. This is gonna be a 14 mil. It's really in there, but it's gonna be a 14 millimeter nut on a post. The bolt actually has a straight square end on the back to auto lock on it. So all you gotta do is take that 14 mil off. It should hold itself, and then push the pin out. As you can tell, there's a pin down here on the bottom. And it's got a square cut. So all it does is lock itself. What you gotta do is take that nut off the other end. Hold the alternator. And it is a tight fit. But all you're gonna do is just work it off. And you're done. So now that we've got the alternator off, this is gonna get cleaned up. As you can tell, it's pretty filthy. So I decided while I'm down here, I'm just gonna be taking off everything, like the idler pulley. Tensioner is gonna come off, and the crank. This I'm gonna take off so I can get back in here and clean up. And I'm probably gonna be changing the tensioner that's on here and the, or just the pulley. The idler pulley is a 14 mil. This is a 14 mil. I forgot this other 12 mil. That's between the tensioner and the crank. Now, the cool thing about these is that the bottom part is just the tensioner. You can replace just this pulley, which is what I'm going to be doing, because the tensioner seems to be working fine, but I will be cleaning this up as it is completely engulfed in oil. Definitely fun when your power steering decides to just throw up everywhere. I am changing everything out now. I shouldn't say changing out, I'm taking everything off, because A, it's going to help me get towards the side rail of the engine bay to paint, and second of all, if this thing is definitely going to get a timing job. Supposedly it was done, but judging by the water pump and the belt itself, it was never changed. So to play it safe, when this gets reassembled, it's going to get a whole new timing job done, new water pump, tensioner. I am going to try and see if I can source out a crank, because this thing is pretty roddy. But other thing that will be happening is we'll be putting ARP head studs on, so it might be getting a new head gasket just for shits and giggles. But we'll see what happens when we get there. The downfall of doing this with the belt already off is it just wants to turn the crank. If there's one thing I cannot stress enough, is that when you guys are taking your car apart, get a Ziploc baggie, write the part number on it, and put your stuff in there. Because luckily for me, I'm not putting half as much stuff back. This does make it a lot easier on your brain.